Howdy folks, today I'm going to show you a fun new ingredient you can make, Elderberry Grenadine. What is Elderberry Grenadine, you ask? Well, it's grenadine, and instead of pomegranate juice, I'm just going to use this elderberry juice that I found at the grocery store. So I'm at the grocery, and I usually just like to look around at weird stuff to see if anything looks interesting, like it might go in a drink, and I found this elderberry juice. I don't really know what elderberry juice tastes like, never had it before, but I'm hoping that it's, you know, sort of a tart flavor, like a pomegranate, so I can make grenadine, and sure enough, that's exactly what it is. In fact, let's taste them right now. Kind of strange stuff. It smells a lot like sort of used hops. When I used to make beer, you know, you put the hops into the wort to fire it up, and it would give off this malty, sort of a weird flower smell, and that's what this reminds me of a lot. It's kind of freaking me out. And you get that taste as well on the palate, and it's dry. It's not sweet at all, and it's also sort of dries your mouth out. Pretty weird stuff. Anyway, I think this is going to make excellent grenadine. Let me just check the ingredients. 64% juice. It's elderberry juice, organic elderflower infusion, and organic agave nectar. So they've taken the berries and they've made an infusion with the flowers, and then they've sweetened it a little bit. So I wonder what it's like unsweetened, because this is not sweet. I'm going to switch to voiceover mode, and I'll just show you how I make grenadine. So for this, you'll need your elderberry juice, you'll need some sugar, I like to put in pomegranate molasses, and orange blossom water always lends a nice touch. So for this, I decided to do 250 grams of my elderberry juice. You could, of course, use pomegranate juice. It would be just regular grenadine then. That was semi-arbitrary. You would normally be aiming for about equal part of sugar, but I decided to go a little lighter on the sugar because this juice is sweetened a little bit with agave nectar. Now we're just gonna wang that onto the stove. I like to do it on the stove because I'm lazy, and it helps it to dissolve a little more easily. You could definitely do this off the heat, but you would just have to stir a little longer. Now this pomegranate molasses is a bit old, and I didn't really measure it. I just kind of glugged in what seemed like, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an ounce. And this orange flower water isn't my favorite brand, but it works fine. I did about 1/4 ounce. And then you just make sure everything's dissolved, let it cool, and then bottle it up. So let's just give this a try as well. I mean, I think the orange blossom water really lends something to this. A flowery note that I like. It's thick, it's sweet, but also tart. Some of that malty hoppiness comes through a bit. I mean, I think that's delicious. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of good things we could do with this. I feel like that would go good on ice cream too. Okay, so now we've got our elderberry grenadine. What should we do with it? Well, a few things come to mind. You could use it in any drink, really, that calls for grenadine, and just use that instead and give it a different flavor. That sounds easy enough. It reminds me a bit of like sloe gin. Sloe gin is another sort of berry that grows in England on a hedge. It's pretty tart. Sloe gin, of course, is not gin, but it's a liqueur, and it's got this very like berry, grapey flavor. So another option would be to basically substitute our grenadine for something that uses sloe gin. So we might try that later. The first thing I tried was to make a sidecar, because I like that grapey quality. Thought it would go well with cognac. And that really went together pretty well, so I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. The other drink I tried was just cognac, sweet vermouth, and Elderberry Grenadine. That came out really good too. The other thing I think of is like Chambord, you know, like just like a berry liqueur. I'm almost thinking this would be good in like champagne, like some bitters, this grenadine and champagne. I don't really like to drink champagne, and I don't have any champagne, so I'm just going to leave that as an exercise for you all. But the thing I'm most excited about trying is I want to make an El Presidente because I just love El Presidentes. It uses grenadine, and I'm just going to make that substitution and see how we do. So next time you see me, we'll try out an El Presidente. Did it. El Presidente, elderberry style. I mean, that's one of my favorite drinks. The elderberry grenadine is good in it. It's a perfect substitute in this case for the grenadine because you're only using a little bit, so it doesn't have a huge impact, but it does give you this lingering bitterness on the back, which is pretty good. I really like the way the orange liqueur and the grenadine played together. That worked out well in the sidecar as well. Yeah, this is good. This is good. I think what we need to do now is come up with a like a slow gin kind of a drink. So stay tuned for that. So, slow gin. A couple of years ago, I got a couple bottles of slow gin, and I was trying to experiment with it and do some stuff. So I ended up collecting a bunch of recipes using slow gin in my phone. I have an app, and I keep a bunch of recipes in there. And so I just did some research. I was scrolling through to find a slow gin recipe that I could substitute my grenadine. A recipe using slow gin in which I could substitute grenadine. Anyway, I found one. It's originally came from Cocktail Virgin. I'll leave a link down in the description. It's called Perverted by Language. It's rich. It's like thick. It's got a nice mouthfeel. The gin and the Cynar really, that Cynar's got a bitter aftertaste. It's definitely sweet enough, and like the botanicals of the vermouth kind of come out in the middle. It's got like an overall berry tartness, sort of unspecified berry tartness. This is really good. Actually, it's kind of a berry up front, moves into the vanilla from the Carpano Antica. This would be good probably with another vermouth as well, and sort of a lingering bitterness. All right, this is a winner. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you like this sort of video. This is sort of I'm hoping to make is just videos where I'm showing you more of the thought process of how to figure out what to do with an ingredient. A lot of videos you'll see will, make an ingredient and just tell you what to make with the ingredient. One drink you can make. But, if you have a bottle of this stuff, you want to try and use it up. You don't want to have the same drink every night. So, if you make this or something similar, see what you can do with it. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to try something else with the bottle I have before it goes bad. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.